Hey guys, this Monday morning, 7 a.m., 25th of March, 2024, we have a penumbral lunar eclipse. So I'm going to take this opportunity just to run through a few of the features and what you may expect during this penumbral lunar eclipse. So it's not actually a total lunar eclipse. Penumbral means the moon isn't completely in the Earth's shadow, but we'll go through and see what we can decipher from the energy of this particular eclipse. So it's a full moon. It's at 5 degrees Libra, and we class anything as an eclipse that falls under 12 degrees and 15 minutes of arc of the nodal points. And this particular one falls close to the South Node eclipse, which can suggest South Node eclipses or anything to do with the South Node can suggest comfort zones, something you're familiar with, but it can also suggest, especially in eclipse times, something you're prepared to let go of, something you've been hanging on to for quite a while and it's now time to release. So what this eclipse is also part of is a Saros series, and a particular one, this is according to Bernadette Brady's work. Dr. Bernadette Brady's work, done extensive work on eclipses and the families they belong to, and this particular one belongs to 8 North. Quite a substantial one, especially if you're feeling a build-up to anything at the minute, but we'll go through this in a bit more detail as we come towards the end, okay? So you'll find out exactly what kind of effects this particular series of eclipses has, okay? So the next eclipse after this will be the solar eclipse on the 8th of April at 19 degrees of Aries. But I'll be covering that as we get closer to the time as well. Now, I live in Belfast. Sorry, I live in Northern Ireland, but the main city is Belfast. If the skies are clear, you'll be able to see the beginning of the eclipse take place. But during maximum effect, it will already have moved beneath the horizon, so you will not be able to see it. And if you might be able to catch a glimpse of the beginning of it, if the skies are clear. If the skies are not clear, you're not going to see it. Okay, so the total length of time of the eclipse is 4 hours, 39 minutes. And to break that down in astrological terms, what the significance of that particular time frame is, in real-time events, now if your chart is affected, if the eclipse hits any particular points in your chart, say for instance, a personal planet, say it hits your Venus or it hits your moon or something like that, you're going to be impacted, and the impact, the time frame for real-time events to play out can be anything up to the 6th of August this year, okay? So I've worked this out by taking the hours and minutes and converting them into weeks and months. So it's not exact, I haven't done it exact, but it's close enough, give or take a day or two. Then the actual degree, the 5th degree of Libra, 5 Libra, that degree will be active until the 28th of August, 2028, okay? So that's using the time frame of the actual eclipse itself as a reference to extend further time frames. So how is it going to affect you if you know you have a planet or a significant point, like one of the angles, your ascendant, your midheaven, your descendant, your lower heaven, you know, any of those around 5 degrees of Libra, you could well be impacted by this eclipse, okay? So let's continue. Now, at this point, if you haven't subscribed and you find this information helpful, please subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you hit the notification bell, and you will be notified of any future content that I create. And I do have plenty of exciting ones lined up, especially one coming up on the moon, which I thought may have been ready, but having problems with the editing, but we'll get it up there as soon as we can. So what is an eclipse? They're intense, it's an intense moment, an intense period of time of electromagnetic energy. So this is all, when you break this down in terms of physics, you know, one's pushing, one's pulling, that's the particles and waves. That's all it is. It's particles and waves, but it's very intense because this energy comes really close to the ecliptic. And that's the ecliptic is the apparent path of the sun. And the moon's cycle is because it cycles around the earth. We travel around the sun. So there's two different paths there, but it's when they come together and meet on the same path, it really increases this, there's an intensity of this electromagnetic energy. So it's a positive or negative polarity. So it could be you really giving something up, electrifying, getting rid of something, putting energy out there, or it could be in a magnetism kind of quality, it could be attracting something else to you. So this is an enhancement, especially if your chart is impacted, that I did mention earlier. So the sun, electric, outgoing energy, is your outer expression, it's your creativity. It's the sun that gives life to everything. It's your output of expression as well. The moon, on the other hand, it's a light that lights up the night. The sun lights up the day. The moon lights up the night. So what you cannot see is what the moon is emphasizing. It's putting light into the areas that you can't see. So in a magnetic way, it's also attracting things. So when you think of the moon, you think of the inner realm, the emotional you, the deeper you, the feeling part of you, the part of you that reacts by feeling and emotion, and pretty much how you feel on the internal way. Okay, so it's eclipses is when the inner meets the outer. So how do you feel about things in the outer world? Is the outer world trying to push or pull you in a certain direction? How do you feel? Do you feel comfortable with that or uncomfortable? Are you moving into something, or are you moving away from something in the outer world? So that's something for you to consider, especially if you're building up to something, if you're on the brink of some kind of major change or some kind of breakthrough. And that's what eclipses really represent. They're significators of great change. And that can be on a personal level, or on a wider scale, it can be on a political level as well. Like in terms of countries, leaderships, whether it be kings or queens or prime ministers or presidents, there could be major change in politics throughout the world, especially when any particular country's chart is impacted by this lunar eclipse. Okay, so they are the significators of great change, and that change can happen pretty much instantaneously, or it can trigger something which takes a few years to change gradually over time. Okay, but usually the changes will be complete by the time frame I outlined earlier. So, and the date I provided for that would be around the 28th of August 2028. So not an exact date, but close enough, give a day or two. So it's in the sign of Libra. So what does Libra represent? Libra is one of the cardinal signs. So it's about getting things done. It's about pushing forward with things. It's an air sign as well, which suggests it's all to do with thought. Especially with Libra, there's a massive theme of communication, connecting to other people. So we have the relationship theme there. And in particular, partnerships, the people we form close bonds with. Now, that could be a significant other in terms of loving partner, wife, or someone you decide you want to live with, or maybe you already do live with, or it could be a business arrangement. Maybe you decide to get into some kind of business with someone. That would be like an Aries kind of Libra relationship. Okay, so then we have the balance as well. It's about giving and receiving. And with Libra in particular, if you think of the scales, the scales that we sometimes see to represent the sign of Libra, scales are not always even. They're usually tipped one way or the other. So when we come to understand the Libran energy, can be about trying to find an exact balance. But does a balance, an exact balance, ever exist? Things are usually tipped slightly one way or the other. And if there is any balance at all, you're probably not going to feel it because it's already starting to tip in the other direction. Okay, so giving and receiving, Libra as well. How do you give and how do you receive in your relationships, whether it's a business relationship or a loving relationship? Are you giving more than you receive, or are you receiving more than you give? Maybe it's time to have a review. Now, Libra energy as well can be very charming and very nice. It can come across as being pleasing to others and will make sacrifices or sacrifice their own happiness or their own well-being to please other people. Or maybe it's just about learning how to say no every once in a while and look after your own sense of security, your own personal what you need to make yourself happy instead of pleasing others. So there can be legal issues as well. Libra, scales of justice. We see them on the outside solicitor's offices or the royal courts of justice, those kinds of things where a judge will be sitting in judgment and trying to make a judgment that is pleasing to both parties. So it's about weighing things up, especially if an issue cannot be resolved. Sometimes it has to go to court and someone else is appointed to decide on the outcome. Okay, so that's a Libran thing as well. Now, the polarities of the two signs we have in Libra, that's where we have the lunar eclipse, but the sun is in Aries, the opposite sign. So these two energies, these two polarities are highlighted, and it really is the relationship axis, because Aries represents the self, what you need as a person, what you need to be doing. And Libra brings in the other party, significant other. So Aries is about your individual goals. Libra would take in the consideration of the other person, and then you can create partnership goals. Aries is about initiation, and then Libra can be about keeping that going by bringing in other people, other parties. The two signs are ruled by Venus and Mars. Mars is very outgoing, it projects, it puts energy out there, and Venus is attractive, it attracts things to it. Aries as well. With Aries, you can be really conscious of what you want, what you need to do, and where you're going, and just know that that's what you're going to do. Libra, on the other hand, can be unconscious traits that other people can awaken within you. So that's very important in relationships, because we usually attract people who can awaken other things within us, allow us to see things from different angles, that open up different things that maybe we ignore in life and maybe we can improve upon. So we attract these people in as teachers to provide lessons in life. Aries and Libra polarity, war and peace. Aries, war. Libra, peace and harmony and balance. And so what we may see with this Aries-Libra polarity here is maybe something happening in terms of all the wars that are going on. And sometimes it gets to the point where there's so much war going on currently that it just feels normal. We've just got used to it now, which shouldn't be. We should be standing up by all this injustice that's being done throughout the world in different countries, different regions. So when we look at the chart, we'll see how this eclipse energy can impact the wars as well, okay? So Mars and Venus, the two rulers, are both in Pisces as well. And Pisces is the sign of the collective, one of the signs of the collective, which brings things together. It's like a collective, it seeks a collective oneness, okay? So Mars and Venus are their two relationship planets. Mars, masculine energy, Venus, feminine energy. And they're both together in Pisces, sign of universal love and compassion and empathy. Okay. So this is the actual chart for the eclipse. And we can see the moon here. And all the other planets in the chart are up over here. Now, they're all contained within this particular area of the chart, from 1 degree of Aquarius right up to about 20 degrees of Taurus. Those are fixed signs. So everything, all the other energy in the chart is under the influence of the moon. So if we can imagine this particular part of the chart here, where all the other planets are, it's like a fan like you hold in your hand and wave. And the moon is the handle. So whoever holds the handle controls the fan, controls the energies that are going on with the fan, how to use it. So the moon in Libra is emphasizing peace, love, harmony. All the other energies within the fan, we have a lot of Aries and Pisces energy there. We also have Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. Those are at the ends of the fan. So it's contained by two outer planets, which all represent change and transformation as well. Okay, so it's quite a significant chart shape because the moon is really the commander of this eclipse. Okay. Now the aspects, the moon is in opposition to Neptune, which again represents oneness, togetherness, the collective. And it's also in Pisces. The moon is in a trine aspect to Pluto, which suggests some kind of transformation on a deep level. Because Aquarius is the sign of humanity. And one of the other, along with Pisces, it's another collective sign. But the Pluto energy suggests transformation as well, must take place. So when we go to look at the other themes in this eclipse, the Saros cycle that it's part of, these cycles last for 1280 years approximately. And the original eclipse, which occurred, had a Uranus square the eclipse energy. So Uranus energy as well can represent flashes of insight, genius, light bulb moments, and a need for freedom. Things can happen really quickly with when Uranus is involved in anything. Suggests sudden change, very quick. So Uranus as well can be inventive, can also be about reinventing, changing, having a new vision that shines new light, brings new light into something you're currently doing. If it's a stage of life you're currently in, you could be on the brink of major change. And this particular eclipse can really highlight a change in direction. It can mean a pull back from what you're used to doing, really rethinking where you're going, and then just deciding, okay, this is what I'm going to do, let's do it. So it's a significant, major significant eclipse, this one as well. Now, how do you determine how it's going to work or how it's going to impact you? Take a look at your chart, create a chart find out where 5 degrees of Libra is in your chart. Then you'll know which house it's in, and then you'll know which area it's in, which area of life it's going to impact. You'll also know as well if you have any planets close to 5 Libra or in opposition to that particular point as well, 5 Aries, okay? if you feel, you'll know if change is coming as well, or if the eclipse is impacting your chart, if it hits a personal planet or if it's on any angle. Or if there's any personal themes that are going on in your life, maybe it's activated or highlighted by the house the eclipse falls in. And this can herald eclipses as well. These can bring new cycles. It can bring closure to old cycles, things that are worn out and need to change. And it can bring in a new cycle, which represents challenge, attracting something new, possibly the potential for opportunity. It can be about letting go of things and then beginning something. But people's lives can be very busy. And to begin something new, sometimes you need to let go of something so that a new cycle can begin in its place. Okay, so that can be very deep and transforming. So other things that are going on, we have a Mercury retrograde coming up on the 1st of April at 27 Aries. Followed by that, a month later, we will have the Pluto retrograde on the 2nd of May. Ignore the 11th of October date. That is actually an error. At 2 degrees of Aquarius. So it's the 2nd of May at 2 degrees of Aquarius, goes retrograde again. Then the biggest transit probably of the year we have coming up on the 21st of April, and that's Jupiter conjunct the planet Uranus. Uranus has been making major changes on its journey through Taurus. Jupiter is going to impact that. It's going to speed things up and bring things to new levels pretty quick. It's going to bring them on. It's going to highlight the changes that are needed to be made and see the vision. We'll see the vision of where we're heading, and then it will be ushered in. So it will expand things. Things that are currently going on, this will expand that energy. Now, if you have, this will be at 21 Taurus. So if you have any planets at 21 degrees in opposition of Scorpio, even by square, by Leo to Aquarius, or even sextile and trine, you could be impacted heavily by this Jupiter conjunct Uranus transit, and this can highlight major change, okay? But it can be seen as positive. It's shaking things up. It can bring on sudden change, shock changes even, but in a positive way. It doesn't have to be negative, okay? Positive, think positive. So I want to thank you for watching. You can look me up on Facebook, Star Drifter Astrology. If you want to drop by and buy me a coffee to show some appreciation for this information, drop by to the link, buy me a coffee. And please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want a personal consultation on the eclipse or for a forecast for the year ahead, feel free to get in touch and it can be arranged. So thank you for watching. Have a happy eclipse. Thank you.